Hello, y'all, and welcome to the LOL podcast. My name is Jalen, and you're watching episode 7. Before we get started, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Jalen_Jaleisha to get your updates on me and things that I'm doing. Um, so today I want to talk about how your past is affecting your present life. I'm going to be looking up because I'm looking at my computer because your girl got to look at her computer because this is where my notes are. Um, so I'm trying to download both of them, but I'll do it one at a time for right now. Download. Okay. So, how your past is affecting your present life. If you have been hurt in your life with that, in your life, and it makes you carry it into your next life. And I just want to iterate this so everybody knows. Every day you wake up, every time you go to sleep, you're ending one reality and you're waking up in another. Whatever you wake up with is what you will have. So I know it's kind of strange to say it in that way because we weren't taught that way. We were taught that your day just continues on until you do the change yourself. But yes, you can wake up and you can notice certain things differently. So last night I can give my example, but last night I was in a manifestation mode where I decided, you know what? Like yesterday, I don't know what it was. I was like, you know what? I am going to literally just be it. I'm just going to be it. I know I don't have it physically yet, but I will soon. But I'm just going to be it. And what I want to be is, I'm going to tell y'all, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to have money falling out my ass so then I don't have to do anything else. And I want to work for myself full time and where my bills can fully be paid on my own. And my method of doing this is celebrating. And I talked about this on my TikTok this morning about how celebration is so important when it comes to your manifestations. And especially if you have ADHD, it is so important because, and if you come from, like me, a narcissistic household where every time you were happy and something good happened, you felt like another shoe would drop. But the thing is, you have to let that go. That was something that I was bringing into my 444 on the, that's crazy. But that was something that I was bringing into my reality every day and I did not realize it. What I was bringing in every day and I did not realize it is I was constantly making myself shrink because that's what I had to do. I wasn't able to be my own person when I was growing up. I had to be smaller. Even though I have this big, bright personality and it's amazing, anytime I get around my family, I do pull myself in because I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. And I know that's crazy to say, like, you don't feel safe, you feel comfortable around your family, but not everybody's family has good people in it or have good experience with their family. And so my childhood trauma was following me and I was allowing it to have control over my life and over my daily feelings and emotions because I was making myself small. I was forcing myself to figure it out because it was put on me as a child to always have a plan, figure something out. If something goes wrong, how are we going to fix it, you know? So I honestly, I was just like, you know what? If this is my world, I have my own back, and things are going to work out better than I could ever expect, I would prefer to go ahead and just be it. So you have to allow yourself to move forward. And be safe and feel like your authentic self. Think of a time when you were your authentic self. Most of the time when you're your authentic self, you're alone because you feel safe within yourself. If that's not the case, baby, go back to the drawing board. But honestly, I feel safe within myself. So I was like, you know what? I had to realize and back up that the universe is me. I am the universe. And I need to go ahead and portray that yes, I'm getting whatever I want. The hardest thing for me recently was realizing I was living in two separate worlds. I was living in my own world, but also inside my own world or outside my own world was the bigger world of the projection of what life is. And basically how that world was running, like my mom and like my dad, how I was expecting constant rejection, expecting to be pushed aside, expecting my voice not to be heard, expecting not to receive things just because I had to work for them. And I had to realize, I was like, that is so outdated and that's not even my way of thinking. And I'm just like, everything people tell you, like, I had to realize this, even getting on TikTok, even me right now, this is a projection. Like, to you who's watching this right now. This is a projection to you, but maybe it's something inside of you that is connecting to this, that it lets me talking to you, lets something out in you. And I have that experience all the time with social media, but since I consume so much social media, such as my job, I literally have to pull back. And yeah, I have to pull back. I have to pull back and realize that I can't allow all these projections to get me. So one thing I want to say that is a projection that gets a lot of people usually is when it comes to dating. That is the number one thing that people have concerned about on the daily basis is dating culture, things like that. I believe dating is really messed up because of projections, because high expectations, not high expectations, but other people's trauma. And then people are like, I'm not going to do that. So like, I understand, like, let's say, Meg the Stallion situation, okay? How Clay Thomas cheated on her and everything like that. I can admit, I made a video on it. My video did pretty well. I can't lie about it. It did amazing. But oh yeah, like that situation and how everybody was just like, oh my gosh, they look so good, they look so great, they look amazing. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, fuck man, hate man, man. And it's just like, oh my gosh, chill the fuck out. Chill out, chill. And this is my thing, like, everybody wants to get on the bandwagon of, okay, we're going to be on this bandwagon. We're women. We're going to do this. Get off the fucking bandwagon and get on your own fucking car and drive the fuck away. Okay? You need more individuality. And I'm not saying to be hyper independent, but have more of a perspective of, I don't have to accept this. I don't have to allow this to control my life. What I was having a hard time with when it came to dating is, you know, I didn't grow up with a mother that gave me the game or a father that gave me the game to dating or anything like that. I had to fuck around and find out myself, you know, when I got married and everything and going through my divorce now, you know, like I'm fucking around and finding out on my own. But at the same time, I am just like, I wish I didn't have to figure it out on my own, you know? And one mindset that will always get me, that I always had in the back of my mind, is like, man, I always got to figure it out on myself. Nobody has me. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, you know what? I need to change the way I'm speaking to myself. I need to change the way that I'm going about this. I need to feel the excitement of having what I want. I'm so excited I have people to rely on in my life. I am so happy that I have people I can fall back on when I need help. I'm so grateful that people show up for me when I need it the most. Changing your language, changing the way that you that the perspective, because the pain is going to always be in the past unless you bring it to your presence. Everything is temporary until you bring it presently. Emotions, feelings, people, things. You got to be able to prioritize what is important and what do you want projected on you. That's why I said I was living in my own world inside of an even bigger world that I was allowing to get to me. And that's usually how everybody is, because we're told that our imagination is just our imagination and not a portal to our inner world that will give us our outer world that we want. So one thing that I'm practicing right now is experimenting and allowing myself to literally be excited about how things are getting better for me. Even if I don't see something in the same day, I'm still going to be excited. Even if I see something in the negative, I'm still going to be excited. And sorry about that. But as an example, let me give this other example. Yesterday, I just decided to be in the feelings of having it all. I was dancing, I was moving my body. I ended up crying and feeling the feelings of having it and being how grateful I am to have it. Because again, this is something you've never experienced before in your life. And if you have experienced it before, still have that same joy of what you have. But if you haven't, and this is something that is so huge to you, so fundamental to you, something that can change you so deeply and like make you think differently about your life, then you have to celebrate it. You have to change your mindset on it. One thing I was struggling with was for a long time, and which got me in a bad situation, unfortunately, was I was literally coming home every day angry as hell, arguing at the universe, saying, where's my money? What am I going to do? I need this. I need that. I need it now. You need to give it to me now. Because I'm not going to say I took bad advice, but usually I have always operated out of anger or sadness or fear because of how I grew up, because things were always thrown at me. I was always just getting things thrown at me. So now I'm realizing and taking away, there is no other shoe. If something good comes in my life, there is no other shoe. I started talking to somebody again, and like I have to really stop myself from like over, what is the word? Overthinking about, oh, what if I can't trust him? What I can't do this? What if I can't? I'm just like, you know what? I like deep down, I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to just try and just see where this goes because I do like the guy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a great person. But at the same time, I am learning how to feel my feelings and get through this because in my last relationship, which was my marriage, or I wasn't another, but we're not gonna talk about that one. That one doesn't really count. But in my marriage, I was the person that was lively, that was myself. And I felt like, well, maybe that's what got me hurt. And then when I manifested, I don't know, did I manifest him or he just popped up? I quite don't know. But I manifested this other guy like right after my separation, and how I got him, it was literally the same fucking day. I was excited that whole day. So I'll explain, I'll tell that all in a second. But to get back on track, it was, I was going through a lot during that separation period, and I was manifesting during that period, and I accidentally manifested someone by allowing my excitement of being loved the way I truly deserve. And the way he came in, he didn't come in the way I expected him to come in. He came in on some weird shit. It was so weird. It was hypersexual. I didn't like it, and it didn't make me feel good. But it made me realize now, today or yesterday, that reaching that highest peak of excitement literally got me what I wanted. One time, I was getting my car maintenance or something like that, and I was at work, and they had told me because something was happening where I already got the thing fixed, and then it broke again, so I had to take the car back. And I was just like so pissed off about it. And the guy was like, yeah, you're going to have to pay for this out of pocket. I said, oh, the hell I won't. Once he told me that, I let him say whatever he said. And I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole 2 days, they had my car for 2 days. They had no reason to have my car for 2 days. But they had my car for 2 days. I did not call them one bit to check on it or nothing. And so I'm over here just like, hell no, I ain't paying for shit. I ain't paying for shit. Mind you, I haven't got paid yet. And I had some money still. But I was just like, I ain't paying for this shit. I'm gonna go get me some food. The fuck? And it was like that. It was like that. And then I had to go in the bathroom at work and look at myself in the bathroom and be like, I fucking won. I got my fucking way. Yes, the fuck I did. Sorry about the cussing. But yeah, I had to hype myself up and I had to say, and that shit worked. With the same situation with this other man that I manifested, the bad one. Literally, I was hyping myself up. I was excited. I was telling people. I was really, really fucking excited. And then when I got home from work, it was from a spam account. It was from a burner account. And he messaged me and he shouldn't have. He was in a relationship. And that's why I was just like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? And now I'm realizing this. I was like, I've been operating in anger and fear and in control. And that was the one thing that I hated when I was a child. One thing that did not work with me. So why do I keep operating in that way? Why don't I just change it and just act positive? And the thing is, why I had such a hard time doing that is because anytime I was positive, anytime I would celebrate wins, I'm telling you, in my mama's world, that's what I'm gonna call the world that I left. In my mama's world, I would get slapped upside the head because in any time in my childhood, something good happens to me, my mama would ruin it. I'm not kidding. Say I literally won a cheer competition. I'm excited. I'm happy to be home. And I go to my mom, I'm like, Mom, I won a cheer competition. Our team won. She's like, oh, that's so great. And then she would hit me with something like so bad to make sure I wasn't happy. And if you've never experienced that before, for your parents taking away your joy that instantaneously and they can't even be happy for you, like anytime I came home happy about something, my parents did not like that. They did not. Oh, great. That's the only thing. The times that my dad is proud of anything that I do is because I have a job and it's something he can put on his social media. Hey, if you watching this, you watching this. But that literally, oh, my daughter, she lives in Washington. I'm visiting her in Washington. I'm so proud of my daughter because she lives in Washington and she's doing this. Oh, she's a flight attendant. And my thing was, and I was moving through this life, thinking I got to make my mama and daddy proud. I got to make them proud. I got to make sure I look for them. I'm doing this. And this is one thing that I really want parents to know. Your kids do not represent you. They don't. You represent your damn self. And the way you run your family and the way you operate your family says a lot about you. And if you force your kids to obey you in that way, where they're not able to have their own voice, or they're not able to act the way they want to act, of course, pain is going to follow them. Of course, if you always telling your kid to shut the fuck up, shut up, I don't want to hear your mouth, shut up, don't speak up for yourself, I don't want to hear it. How the fuck do you think that's going to affect them when they become an adult? And that's the thing that a lot of adults have to remember. You're not raising a child. You're raising a child that will soon be an adult, who has to be respected, who has to speak up for themselves. And that's why so many people feel the way that they feel and are upset about the things that they're upset about, is because they never had the ability to express themselves the way that they should express themselves. And it makes me feel really bad that they have no way of expressing themselves the way that they should. Let me get back to my notes because my computer went sleepy's time. Let's read this. So you have to remove the mask that hides your true self. And the pain. You got to face the pain. You got to realize, okay, do I want to keep feeling this over and over again? I know it hurts. I know it feels terrible. I know I feel like, what if I do it? What if I do it? I had to remind myself that I used to be so brave when I was a teenager. And yesterday when I told my story about when I got kidnapped, it reminded me how brave I was then and how scared I was then and how I did it even scared. And I had to realize, even if I feel scared, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to celebrate myself, even if I don't see anything. And when I tell you this morning, when I tell you I have been working to get more UGC content, like to work with other brands and stuff like that, I have been trying to do that. And when I tell you, I haven't had any luck until today. When I say, or until yesterday, actually, when I had someone say, oh yeah, Jalen, let's go ahead and schedule a call. I would love to hear about your ideas. I would love to hear about everything. I like your videos. I like how you storytell. I had someone today, I'm going to do for a trade for a facial. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Yes, of course. Because now even though it's not, exactly what I want at this very moment, I'm seeing what I want to see, which means I'm living the life that I want to live. And when I'm so serious about, you have to take back control of your own life, it is the most terrifying thing ever, but it is the most healing and loving thing ever. When I tell you I'm so happy for myself, I am so content with myself that I just said, you know what? I don't want to live in this filter where I have to be afraid of everything and I'm making myself small. I'm facing situations that, literally a lot of people may be facing or may not face, but you know what? I'm choosing to remain strong and remain in a positive manner. Like, you don't always have to be positive, but please celebrate the moment that you receive what you want. Not when you get it, but before, because having it makes you feel like what? Like, man, if I had that car, I would be so happy. I would be doing this. I would be doing that. You would see me outside jigging and moving and in my car like this, Because my thing is, I'm trying to manifest a Porsche Macan, bitch. Okay, I want a Porsche Macan EV 2026. And so I just have to be like, this is my car. I'll be in that Porsche Macan, pushing that bitch. So you have to be excited. You have to let go of the pain, because you have to remember it's fleeting. It is not going to stay unless you force it to stay, unless you make it stay, unless you keep bringing it up, unless you keep repeating the same story. Is that your story? Is that what you want? So, and it is a limiting belief that you can't get past that pain. Pain is temporary. Pain is temporary. When you get shot, two options happen. Either God take you to glory and you don't feel it no more, or you get healed and eventually the pain goes away. So you need to allow the pain to go away so then you can be the best version of yourself and you can be present in your life and receive everything that you want. As long as your assumption is, I'm receiving everything that I want, I'm receiving exactly everything that I need, things are going my way, celebrating it, crying about it, dancing about it. Like, literally, life is about celebration. Life isn't about being in your sadness. And I feel like something that affects um a lot of people is doubt. You just doubt yourself, you pull yourself out, and I've experienced it. Sometimes I'm just like, I feel defeated because I am just like, I don't have nothing left in me. Look, this is all I got. But that's when you have to change, because maybe the way you're doing it isn't the right way. Because when I tell you, I had to realize, I was like, for 6 months, no, I want to say maybe 10 months, I have been angry. How about I just be happy? Even in my hardest times, even if I can't see the light, let me just be happy and let's see what's happening. I don't know what's to come to me. I just know that I ended up okay and everything's working out for me. And I have exactly what I want. One thing that was really hard for me because of, the people around me, like I said, I grew up in a house where I wasn't allowed to really truly express what was going on in my household, or really truly be the version of me that I wanted to be, because I was not safe, and I knew I wanted to move to California because I knew I could be myself. And again, I was 8 years old when I decided to move to California, okay? And I moved 10 years later on not on my 18th birthday, but like I moved 10 years later when I was 18. Oh man, that's such a blessing. Look at God. Sorry, I had to remember how lucky I am to be out here, and how, this was a really good thing for me to come out here, and how it was going to happen no matter what. Like, it was going to happen no matter what. So I started YouTube when I was in high school, and y'all can go look at my other page if you want to and look at my high school videos. But I had to beg my mom to do social media because I was wanting to do it, and I could have stuck with it, but I did not. My other YouTube channel, if you're curious, is Jaleisha_J, or just Jaleisha J. But that was my YouTube channel, and I made content on there, and I loved it. It was cheesy, it was corny, but it was me. It was just me being brave. I didn't care about the kids at school at first. I didn't care about that. But once school started, that's when I stopped. That's when I stopped. Once I reached 100 subscribers, I stopped. I was doing amazing, but I stopped. And I wish I didn't. And that's why I committed to myself to, start a new YouTube channel. This is supposed to be for travel, but for right now, like I said, in the meantime, I'm putting my podcast out because speaking is my purpose. And I am meant to be out and speaking life into people. That is what I know my purpose is. That is what God is constantly leading me back to. And God is telling me, Jalen, stop shrinking. You're not in that old world. Keep expanding. And expanding is something new to me. I am not used to expanding. I'm not used to I am used to being the leader and taking charge, but it's just like I'm not used to expanding, and I have to really force myself to do it because, you know what? I need to be seen. Something in me just needs to be seen, and I need to kill that little voice that says that you're not good enough. So even though my YouTube channel has 3 subscribers and I barely get views on these podcasts, one day the right person will come along and maybe share it, and thousands, maybe even millions would see my video, and maybe one day it will be beneficial to me. I know that. And that's why exactly I did it, because I kept this promise to myself that I need to speak. I need to follow my passion. And I have been doing this for, I think, a month or 2 months now. And even though I haven't really been marketing this or anything either. And I haven't done that because I am working through my fears of this, like genuinely working through my fears and trying my best to not be fearful and hurt. So, I'm just allowing myself to see projections that I want in my life. And like I said, I watch a lot of social media. So the number one thing that I did to saturate my mind in knowing that I have what I want is I saturated my mind, went on TikTok or Instagram, one of the two, and I would go to the reels, or I would go to the TikToks that I wanted to look at, and I would literally just allow myself to just feel it. And I know not everybody can do this, but I can. And I just allow myself to be happy for those other people. And the thing is, when you're a big ass hater on everybody, you're going to only attract hate to you. So when you're happy for other people, you're going to get happiness sent back to you. When you are constantly in this mode of, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, I can't get nobody loves me. I'm only attracting bad men. Like, oh my gosh. And you're flipping it on them and not you. Baby, wake up, tap up, listen, it's you. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to pay attention to the things you're saying. You need to pay attention to the stuff you're consuming. I always, 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 always say that, you know what? I know I'm watching this stuff on TikTok, but this has nothing to do with me unless it's positive, unless it has something to do with me. Even like those readings that come up, even my own damn readings that I do on myself when I do tarot, because I do wake up and that is a part of my morning, is to do tarot for on myself. Not really tarot, more oracle, and then I pull some tarot cards. This morning it tried to tell me some bullshit and I said, fuck no. I put that deck back, walked away, and then came back and did it again and it came out right. I was like, I that's what I fucking expected. Because that's the thing. It's all based on your mindset. You are the only one here. And I don't know, like, I don't think other people were explaining it well, because they're just like, be in your moment of excitement. It's just like, no, you don't have to, like, just listen. Just be happy. Let the pain go. Let it all go. Let everything go. Be happy. Be content. Find one thing today that you can be content about. Find one thing that you are so excited about that makes your life so much better. Because when I tell you, you do that, you put all your attention and all your satisfaction on that, you start seeing changes around you. Once you start celebrating your life, that is the number one thing that will bring in everything so fast, is if you celebrate your life. If you have ADHD, I'm so serious, hyperfixate on what makes you happy and think positively about it. Dance around your house, twirl, spin, write about it. Love it all out. Do whatever you got to do. But you have to let the past go so it can stop affecting your present life. And that is my podcast for the day. And this time I'm on time a little bit late. But thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, let me know. I also y'all, if y'all want a coaching lesson with me to go more in depth with this subject, you can go to the link in my bio and you can go ahead and schedule coaching with me, and we can go ahead and get this shit solved, baby, and help you out and get you back on track of where your mindset is messed up. Because the best thing about me is I can always tell when you're not on track, and I can always bring you back there. Okay. I have available for purchase my 2 e-guides. I got Flight School for Reformed Birds. If you don't know what that's about, go ahead and click on the link and find out. And then I also have Reforming Your Dumb Bitch Ways. So if you're interested in stop being a dumb bitch, go ahead and hit that description and hit the link and take a gander. But without further ado, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much for watching my videos. No matter if you are or if you're not, I'm doing this for me and I'm keeping a promise to myself. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.